absolute diva in this, and you were all full of actions and, you know, flicking the hair and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, check me out, you know. And I think at this point in time you decided you wanted to be a ballerina.
I seen every single Barbie film. I had it on, like, you know, it was before DVDs and CDs, it was the kind of tapes. I used to watch Barbie films on them. So, yeah, I was a girly girl, still a girly girl, so. I think it was more the kind of second half, like more near exams and stuff where, you know, things started to happen at home that made that difficult.
Born and raised in Glasgow, in Rockhill. That's where, obviously, NUC was, well, is.
Yeah,
I would always just come in.
Yeah, just come in, and I remember we every Friday I would say, "Oh, Ash, you'll be in soon," and you would come after school. And
I think that was like, it was always like my safe place. Like I don't know, I just always felt at home. Like I don't know what other way to explain it.
I grew up and it was just kind of me, my mum, and then I was really excited when she met someone who at the beginning was a huge support for our family, you know, a protector. But over time, they just became less of a protector. And, sorry. Told myself I wasn't going to cry. You know, looking back, you realise, like, when it did get to its, you know, at the worst point that it did, it just became, like, the norm, and you were used to that. And in the house, everything that happened, that was okay, and there was nothing you could do about it to change what was going on. Sometimes I wouldn't even be addressed by, like, my own name. I would be like, oh, tell her to do this, or her. And my mum would be like, she has a name. And then, like, later on at night, I would just hear things. And I knew that was because she was just trying to stick up for me.
And I thought, this is still affecting her. 7 years down the line, it's still affecting you. You know what I mean?
No.
But hey, you're a wee strong person.
I know.
You'll be okay. This might be good therapy for you to talk about it.
Free therapist is great.
I actually spoke about it.
And in more primary, it was a lot to do with my parents. Like they didn't get on. There was a lot of substance abuse within the household with my mum and dad drinking and taking drugs. Dad was involved in a lot of taking and like dealing, like lived, I suppose, like a gangster's lifestyle. Basically, when I was 9, my dad had to leave because he got shot and he managed to escape. And yeah, that was the last time I ever saw my dad until this year when I had to go and view his body. We lived across the road from a park, and then I always remember out playing with one of my friends. One of the guys that had shot my dad stopped me in the street and asked me, and he was like, "Oh, so you getting up the house? What you having for dinner tonight? Who's cooking it?" Like just silly things like that. But I always knew that he was who he was. I was on my way home, and I was like, "I'm not going home." So my friend's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "We're going back to the centre." But however long we stayed there, and I knew that nothing would happen to me while I was in there. I felt safe. I lived with my mum, as I say, she's an alcoholic, was back then, still is, still struggles now. So I think they kind of knew things that was going on with my dad because that was more spoke about, but I know for a fact they didn't know about the physical abuse that me and my sister were going through with my mum. I was put on antidepressants at the age of 13, but I'm actually still on them to this day. There's no shame in it for me personally. I couldn't care less. If I have to take a tablet for the rest of my life to make me feel normal, then so be it. That was my life. I didn't know any different.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. I felt stuck because I was already in kind of a rut. You know, I still put my best foot forward and, you know, I still gave it my all just in case. But it just was really hard at that time. You know, going from my home to my granny and granddad's quite a lot, so, and that was also an escape. I was able to go there and, or G15, so the G15 Youth Project were so helpful. And it was just any kind of distraction that I got was just, I was so grateful for it. Because I knew that it was wrong, what was happening was wrong. Just being involved with G15 and everything that they had to offer was like more than enough. You know that there's always going to be someone there that you can relate to in a way, because you know they are struggling with something else as well. You can just help each other out by talking about things. It would just kind of give me, okay, there's a motivation, just you can do that as well. You can keep a smile on your face. Been to so many trips, amazing trips. It's things that I would never think I would ever get to do, but G15 makes that possible. And then the work experience, Arnold Clark, Cash for Kids made that possible. And it just kind of gave me hope. And yeah, just things from then on just sort of lifted.
I just continued to keep working. I worked in a care home. I started at 16 in there, just in like the laundrette. But then when I was 18, I started doing caring, and I was like, I actually really like this, and I was good at it, I suppose. The centre was a huge impact because it was always somewhere where you feel you could speak to someone, like they were there for you. It sounds silly, but the wee moments really matter. The fact that I had somewhere to go, people to turn to. For some people it's a safe haven, I suppose, and it was for me, especially now that I look back. It's a, yeah, I feel like I'm going to cry. I don't know, it's great. And I'm going back to work with them at the end of this month. Thought for a second that any young person even had an inch whatever they're going through, and I'm part of their support, then I'll be very happy.
So I've now been at Arnold Clark for just over 4 years. I'm an accounts assistant, and I'm also a student at the Glasgow Caledonian Uni to gain a master's degree in accountancy and become a fully qualified chartered accountant. So that will be in 5 years' time. And if I never had that support from Cash for Kids, then I don't think I would feel like that. They've helped me realise my worth, my potential, and that I've got a lot to give. So yeah.
What would you say to that wee 9-year-old you if you could speak to yourself?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel sorry for her. Yeah, I feel really, really sorry for her, and I would love to give her a wee cuddle and say, it's all right, you'll get there. I know I had a lot of help and stuff, but I think I'm big enough and ugly enough to say that you've done a lot of it on your own, so well done, and it will eventually be okay.